Eloy Morales, who's been here for us for a long time, to protect us. That's all I'm asking. Protect my children. If it were just about me, that's fine. I can go. I've been homeless before. So I don't mind. But these are my children who love Inglewood, who live in Inglewood. But I know what's about to happen. And we all know what's about to happen. Let us search our consciences. Don't go for the money. These people are using legal loopholes, and they do have their lawyers. They have people that they can use to actually beat us. Okay? With COVID going on, my unemployment, my wife's health, and my children who are right now in my house going to school 5 days a week. I have to be teacher, parent. I mean, I know there's a money side to it, there's a politics side to it, but these are human lives here, and that's all I'm asking, please. That's all I'm asking. Mayor Boats, Eloy Morales, all our minority people, protect my children. That's all.
Sir, what was your name again?
Okorie, Mr. O-K-O-R-I-E. I usually see Mayor Boats.
Your councilman's going to address you, and then I'm going to address you.
Yeah, and all I'm going to say is thank you very much for calling. Obviously, sir, I can tell you that whoever told you that is trying to misguide you and trying to put you in a situation where you may make a decision that may benefit them. The truth is that every step we're taking here will continue to protect you. The ordinance is going nowhere. And I'm glad you have your children here watching history, because the history is going to protect families like yours. And what I want to point out, though, is the fact that families like this are basically being blindsided. They're getting notices like this so that they can have fear inside them, so that they can continue to be in a place in their mind where they think they have to leave, where they think they're unwanted. This is exactly what we're trying to end with our action here. So I know the mayor is going to point out the technical flaws in everything you've been told. I just wanted to share the fact that families like yours are the reason we're creating this protection. We're moving it forward. And I'm sorry that you are going through that with that bad message from your owners, but I hope that the people listening also see that they should question when they get this kind of notice, and they should call our department here to get clarity, because families like yours are going to be protected with the things we're doing here. So thank you for calling in, Mayor.
You know, first thing, I'm really sorry that Planet Fitness isn't open, because then you could have just talked to me at the gym like everybody always does. but here's the deal. Here's the deal. For renovations, they cannot evict you. They can offer you up to $10,000 to relocate. They could offer you more if they chose to. Mm-hmm. But if you don't want to move, then the accommodations will have to be made so that you can keep your place. So I look forward to seeing you in the gym, but you've been misled, and we are definitely here for you. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
Operator, next caller.
No further callers.
All right.
Mayor.
But there is one email comment.
Yes, sir. Okay. May I have 3 minutes, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Hello. My name is Amber Kipler, and my family owns 2 apartment buildings in Inglewood. We have had these properties since 1970. I urge the City Council to be fair and equitable when addressing amendments to the RSO. Allowing the RSO sunset clause to be removed would give the city all the power in controlling the city's rent in perpetuity when it was intended to help stabilize rents in a strong market only through 2024. This grants the city too much power, and there needs to be a balance. Additionally, putting stronger restrictions on landlords in raising the rents and dealing with evictions would cause irreparable harm to landlords, because it creates an additional hurdle that must be overcome and more than likely not to meet the threshold. If I have a unit that is in a desperate need of a major remodel and need to evict the tenant with proper notice so that the unit may be gutted and rebuilt, I should be able to do that. My tenants have all lived in my buildings for more than a year, so that requires a 60-day notice to vacate. This is more than adequate time for a tenant to find new housing. Do not take this ability away from landlords. You are de-insensitizing people from wanting to own rental properties in your city. Actions like these will cause property owners to sell and get out of the city. Rent registration is simply a money grab from the city to get money from property owners, and we already pay annual business licenses. This is not necessary and is a huge financial burden to the independent family-run landlords. The pandemic has increased our operational costs, but our rents have had to remain the same throughout the past year. No late fees have been collected. There have been higher costs for utilities due to safer at-home orders, and there are tenants who can't pay rent. Where is the fairness to landlords? Now the city is proposing rent ration. This is a greed at its finest. I appreciate you taking the time to hear my comments. Please bear them in mind when making your decision. I urge you not to amend the RSO in the way that will irreparably harm landlords/property owners. Respectfully, Amber Lair.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
And before we go on to the agenda, I've been informed that those flowers are not for Councilwoman Falk. They're actually for our outstanding city clerk because it's City Clerk's Day today.
Shucks.
So.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you for everything you do, Aisha.
Oh, look at the nice picture. That's nice.
Gosh. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay, item 1, I will close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payments.
Madam Clerk.
Council members, successor agent.
Items 3 through 5.
So
Mayor,
moved.
Point of order, Mayor. Can we go back to item 2, please?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk.
Recommending introduction of an ordinance to amend Inglewood Municipal Code, Chapter 8, Article 9, and
Aye.
Housing Protection Department.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members, city manager. The item before you is an amendment to the city's housing protection, 80% of fair market value, can petition for an increase of 5% plus CPI. And the maximum allowance to recoup 50% of the cost for a capital improvement project has increased from $50 to $100. This past week has been extremely busy. The HH department has received numerous calls from tenants who are appreciative of the council-approved amendments, and landlords who are thankful that we listened, considered, and included some concessions based on the feedback they provided. Over the past 24 hours, I have participated in conference calls with apartment owners associations and realtors for the city of Inglewood. They were able to ask questions and obtain clarity on a number of issues, as well as provide additional input. With that, there were a couple of calls. They also tasked us with providing efficient and equitable services to both tenants and landlords as much as possible. We are appreciative of not only the voice of our tenant constituency, but to the owners as well. We are aware that owners who have invested in city long before the council is very cognizant of the impact that this pandemic has had on our entire constituency, including the owners. So, with that said, I absolutely stand by my registration established by the fee study. But I do understand that right now in the current climate, $206 could be a tad bit burdensome, so
Now you established by HUD, so that people know where to look to see that.
yes.
All right.
And it would be contingent upon them registering on time, and that's it for me.
Okay, now let's make this really clear, that apartments, individual apartments that rent at 70% or less than fair market value, fees waived for so long as they are beneath that 70% threshold. But this would not apply to the entire building, but only to those apartments within a building.
The units.
The individual units.
Gotcha.
That are 70% or less than fair market value, meaning that other units that were at a higher rental, they would pay the registration fee. Is that right?
Understood, yes.
Okay. Are there any questions from the council?
Questions or comments?
Comments are good too.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that is definitely geared towards the motivation we've all received, and obviously Ms. Decatur received all of the apartment owners that were appreciative of everything she did. I got the other ones. That definitely questioned what we were doing. But one of the major items that kept coming up is that they valued, they're longtime owners, they valued their tenants there, and they wanted to keep them. And the way they keep them is by keeping a very low market rate price on their rent. And so they're motivated by that. They want to keep them. And so this addresses that. This allows them to do it. This shows our support of them doing it while keeping the rent down. 100 units would probably be motivated by choosing which tenants have been there for over 10, 15, 20 years. Will also really help